Hello, my name is Sarah Fitzgerald. I am a student at the University of Winchester studying a master's course in animal welfare, behaviour, ethics and law. Welcome to my presentation on the donkey skin trade. In this presentation I will be discussing what donkey skins are used for, the significant impact that the trade has on donkey welfare and consequently human welfare, the demand for the product and what is driving it, and potential solutions to the crisis. Ejiao is a traditional Chinese medicine ingredient derived from the gelatinous substance obtained from boiling and refining the hides and skins of donkeys. The resulting product is a dark gelatinous substance used in traditional Chinese medicine for various health purposes. Historically, Ejiao has been a popular ingredient in Chinese medicine. It is believed to nourish the blood, replenish the body's essence and promote overall health. Traditional uses include addressing conditions such as anemia, dizziness, insomnia and women's health issues. Ejiao is often consumed in the form of a thick sweetened paste or in powdered capsules. It can also be found in various traditional Chinese herbal formulas. While Ejiao has a long history of use in traditional medicine, it has become a controversial ingredient due to concerns about the ethical treatment of donkeys and the potential impact on donkey populations. There is limited scientific evidence to back the touted health benefits of Ejiao. Many of the papers published in biomedical journals are by authors affiliated to Chinese public and private research institutions, such as universities or Ejiao producers. Misinformation regarding the therapeutic efficiency of animal-derived substances contributes to issues with wildlife preservation and animal ethics. In recent years, there has been increased scrutiny and criticism of the Ejiao industry for its impact on donkey welfare. The demand for Ejiao has led to concerns about overharvesting of donkey hides, illegal trade and inhumane practices. The demand for donkey skins has raised many concerns about animal welfare as well as the sustainability of donkey populations in affected regions, particularly China, Africa and South America. So let's take a look at some of the figures just to highlight the significance of the amount of animals affected. It has been widely reported that 4.8 million donkeys are killed annually for their skin. The demand for Ejiao has decimated China's donkey population. According to the World Organization for Animal Health, the donkey population in China is estimated to have decreased by 76% since 1992. The trend has pushed Nigerian donkeys to the brink of extinction, leading national authorities to prohibit the sale or slaughter for consumption until the donkey population recovers. There are accounts of up to 20% of donkeys dying during transit. Donkey welfare is impacted at every step of the process. The donkey skin trade is almost entirely unregulated and quite often illegal. Most countries do not farm donkeys, therefore the trade relies on animals that are traded both legally and illegally. Demand is so high that even pregnant mares, young foals and sick and injured donkeys are being sourced and slaughtered. The Donkey Sanctuary and its partners assert to have evidence showing donkeys being transported in the final stages of pregnancy, some of which gave birth or miscarried during the journey. Donkeys are transported on overcrowded trucks for days without food, water or rest. In West Africa, they can be moved on foot for days at a time in extreme temperatures. Transport can induce stress in healthy donkeys. Donkeys experience significant stress when separated from their companions and placed in unsuitable environments. Severe effects of stress may be visible, with donkeys frequently arriving at slaughterhouses with severe injuries or illness. However, as prey animals with unique behavioural characteristics, donkeys often show no or very subtle signs of illness. When they experience undue stress, they can become so distressed and fearful that they shut down and stop eating, resulting in a prolonged death from the metabolic disease hyperlipemia. Handlers generally have limited experience in donkey handling and little to no understanding of donkey behaviour. Due to daily quotas in slaughterhouses, donkeys are often held in holding pens for several days without access to food, water or shelter. Donkeys are slaughtered both legally in designated slaughterhouses and illegally. Many stolen donkeys are slaughtered callously in the bush where their carcasses are abandoned. Even when slaughtered legally, their welfare can be extremely compromised. Donkeys can be slaughtered brutally in full view of other animals, compounding their fear and distress. A study by Mashomo et al. In 2019 found that Kenyan slaughterhouses recorded slaughtering more donkeys than they had purchased stunning bullets for, suggesting a proportion of the donkeys were killed without prior stunning. The lack of traceability within the global skin trade creates a major biosecurity risk. It is well documented chronic stress can lead to immunosuppression. The stress of transport can be compounded by inadequate access to food and water, and can render donkeys highly susceptible to becoming vectors of disease, including zoonotic diseases such as glanders, a highly contagious infectious disease which is often fatal in humans and animals. The risk is intensified by the movement of animals without adequate identification and traceability. It is not only the live donkeys that pose a biosecurity risk. In 2020, the Donkey Sanctuary commissioned the International Livestock Research Institute to undertake independent testing of 109 donkey skins that originated from a Kenyan slaughterhouse. They were to look for evidence of 9 diseases endemic to the region, including anthrax, rabies, glanders, and equine influenza. 3 skins tested positive for African horse sickness, a disease that is especially deadly for horses. In 2019, an outbreak of equine influenza in West Africa, which the World Organization for Animal Health believed was linked to the cross-border donkey trade, killed 62,000 animals in Nigeria alone. A further 88 skins tested positive for Staphylococcus aureus, a common disease-causing bacterium for humans. Half of those samples were confirmed to be MRSA, a group of genetically distinct staph bacteria that have developed antibiotic resistance and can cause difficult-to-treat problems such as skin infections and pneumonia. Of the 44 confirmed MRSA samples, 3 were a highly virulent strain that produce a flesh-eating toxin. This leads us nicely onto the impact that the donkey skin trade has on human welfare. One Health is a concept that recognises the interconnectedness of human health, animal health and environmental health. The global COVID-19 pandemic has exposed a major weakness in animal health systems, a vital pillar of One Health, as well as the risks posed to humans by the diseases mentioned in the previous slide. Local ecosystems are suffering from pollution. The skin is the most valuable part of any donkey slaughtered. The unregulated nature of the trade means there are few incentives to use the remainder of the body. Donkey carcasses are often discarded, piled up and left to rot. Runoff from these improperly disposed of corpses pollutes the surrounding air, water and land. Some slaughter facilities have the capacity to process the meat. Others are left with numerous carcasses to dispose of, which have reportedly ended up in canals as well as being thrown in pits, creating once again biosecurity hazards for people, other livestock and wildlife in the area. For many of the world's poorest communities, donkeys are fundamental to existence as working equids, giving access to vital sources of income. The donkey skin trade is socially impacting people who rely on donkeys to support their livelihoods. The increased demand for donkeys has boosted their value exponentially, making them harder to afford for people who need them most and increasing the risk of theft. This leads to a causal nexus of increased demand, price inflation, increased prices, and increased theft. Information on demand is limited, but a survey of a number of pharmacies in China found that Ejiao is the most popular medicine in the category of health tonics. The unregulated nature of the donkey skin trade makes obtaining precise figures impossible. However, there was an estimated 160% increase in Ejiao production in the 5 years between 2016 and 2021. Based on current manufacturer reports and currently available data, the minimum number of skins required by 2021 was 5.9 million, and if production continues to grow at the present rate, could reach a minimum of 6.8 million skins by 2027. So what is fueling the demand? It is widely reported that some clever product placement was a significant factor in the rise in popularity of Ejiao. One of the largest Ejiao producers in the world paid for its products to be placed on a popular 2012 Chinese TV drama, Empress in the Palace, with Ejiao appearing in at least 16 episodes over the 4 months it aired in Hong Kong. The company deemed the response a considerable success, with Ejiao rapidly rising in popularity. Population growth is another contributing factor. China's population grows at approximately 0.5% per year. To put this in context, between 2016 and 2017, the population is estimated to have expanded by over 7 million. Between 1990 and 2017, the population increased by almost 250 million. This alone created a general increase in demand for products including Ejiao. This population increase was accompanied by a rapid increase in average incomes as well as substantial changes to the healthcare system. There is now near universal healthcare coverage in China, incorporating both Western and traditional Chinese medicine. In 2019, the World Health Assembly, the governing body of the World Health Organization, included a chapter on traditional Chinese medicine for the first time into the International Classification of Disease Control, despite strong opposition from the Western scientific community. Lobbying and the strong presence of Chinese representatives in lead World Health Organization positions have been pinpointed as one of the reasons for the inclusion. So what can be done? In an ideal world, the solution would be banning the slaughter of donkeys for their skin. On the 18th of February 2024, African state leaders approved a ban on the slaughter of donkeys for their skin across the continent at the African Union Summit in Ethiopia. In Brazil, where donkeys are also trafficked and killed for their skins, legislation to ban the slaughter of all equines is expected to pass the National Congress in 2024. While this news is very welcome, in several countries where the skin trade is illegal, donkey trafficking and donkey slaughter remain prevalent. For example, Mali, Burkina Faso and Ghana have all prohibited donkey slaughter and export of skins, but huge numbers are still being trafficked across the open borders between these countries. In 2020, Bennett and Fudner looked at the potential for new donkey farming systems to supply the growing demand for hides. They found that it is likely to take a minimum of 10 to 15 years to build a Chinese farming system to supply the current demand. Breeding more donkeys is not a solution. With a 10 to 14 month period of gestation, the animals cannot be bred fast enough to fulfill demands. Donkeys are expensive to breed because of their long gestation period, meaning Chinese farmers find it hard to make a profit from selling the skins despite their increased value. Synthetic alternatives to donkey skin are a viable option, something Ejiao producers, to their credit, are actively exploring. There have been huge advances in the field of biotechnology, and cellular agriculture could provide a feasible solution to the donkey skin crisis. It would require all stakeholders to come together. Trade is driven mainly by Chinese consumers, but there are no published studies exploring consumers' beliefs and attitudes. However, a study by Wang et al. In 2020 examined the views of traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, vendors and consumers in relation to the pangolin scale trade. While the traditional Chinese medicine practitioners believed that the pangolin scales had high medicinal value, they had limited awareness of the illegal aspects of the trade. Vendors and consumers had little knowledge of where the pangolins were sourced from or the associated conservation concerns. Over 70% of doctors interviewed agreed that some use of pangolin scale could be substituted with other ingredients. While further research is needed to assess consumers' and practitioners' views on alternatives to Ejiao, traditional Chinese medicine communities could switch to sustainable alternatives if suitably motivated. A one welfare approach is required on a multinational level to highlight the complex interconnections between animal welfare, human well-being and the environment. So in summary, the donkey skin trade is an extractive trade in an animal whose population is rapidly depleting, giving rise to welfare, biosecurity and ethical considerations. It is demonstrably unsustainable and it violates both legal frameworks and moral standards at national and international levels. Traditional Chinese medicine dates back more than 5,000 years and has a long tradition in using rare and expensive animals in food and medicine. This practice may have been justifiable in the past in the absence of other therapeutic alternatives, when trade was limited and animal species were abundant in their natural habitat, but it is no longer sustainable in this era of globalization and advances in technology. We need to overcome cultural and geopolitical differences, conflicting anthropocentric visions and beliefs on human use of animal life. The donkey skin trade crisis is a multinational challenge, transcending jurisdictions and requiring the collaborative efforts of many stakeholders to safeguard the future of donkeys. Thank you for watching my presentation. If you would like further information on the donkey skin trade, organisations such as the Brook and the Donkey Sanctuary are working tirelessly to highlight and bring an end to the suffering of donkeys. Here are a number of reports that they have produced on the subject.